Hey, Frankie, how's it going? We're going to get started here in just a moment. If you guys need anything, you just let me know, okay?
Okay, we wanted to show you something we discovered about her. It's super cool.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
It's unbelievable almost.
All right.
Okay. You ready? You want to show? Okay. Go stand up there like you were earlier. So, question.
Yeah.
How good is your hearing?
Not as great. This ear, yes, it's great. So it'll be fine. This one, not so much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kinley probably has the best hearing on the planet.
Really?
We discovered that earlier.
Yeah.
And the way I discovered it is I dropped a very small little piece of metal in my bedroom. She was in the living room and she heard it.
That's impressive.
Even more impressive is she heard what I was thinking when I couldn't find it.
Wait. Okay.
Okay.
Thinking.
All right. I can show you what I'm talking about.
Okay.
All right. So we brought some snacks.
Okay.
These are our favorite snacks.
And they look good.
We've got chips, Kool-Aid Jammer, peanuts, my favorite snack.
Yes.
And then crackers. Okay. Like I said, she's got good hearing. So you have to be careful when you do this.
Okay.
All right? What I want you to do is to pick one of them up. Any one of them. Try and be as quiet as you can. But we've actually trained her on how to figure out which one makes different sounds. Even if you're silent, she can tell which one is which by the sound it makes. Her hearing's that good.
So just pick it
As quiet as you can, pick up one of the snacks.
Okay. As quiet as I can. As quiet as I can.
Sam, you can't fool me. You picked the peanuts.
What?
Isn't that wild? Like, I didn't hear anything. Okay.
Yeah, okay,
All right. Well, you got to quiet it down a little bit. Try again.
All right.
Any snack.
Oh my goodness. Oh.
It's hard.
Yeah, it's very hard. It's yeah, no dollar.
Told you can't fool me. You picked the Kool-Aid Jammers.
See, she said you can't fool her. You were making noise trying to get her to.
I know.
It's
I
unbelievable.
was really trying to throw her off.
Okay, we'll do it again. So,
Okay.
And you know what? You can repeat the same snack. You can do whatever. You just got to try and be as quiet as possible.
Okay. Wait, just as quiet as possible. I'm going to be as quiet as possible.
Really, I told you, you couldn't fool me. You picked the crackers.
Okay, so I know it's wild,
Yes.
but she really can hear it. I don't know how she does it. It's like a special talent. I definitely don't have it. So this is the incredible part.
Okay.
So she's not just hearing sound now. She's actually going to try and hear thoughts.
Okay.
Okay? So I want you to just think of one of the snacks and point at the snack so that everyone at home can see it. And everyone at home, once he selects a snack, think about it. Send those thoughts to Kinley. She's going to actually hear the thought and know which snack Sam has selected. It's wild.
Okay. All right.
Any snack.
Oh yeah. Okay. That.
Which one?
Okay, this one might be a little tough. I'm thinking chips.
That's unbelievable, isn't it?
What?
I know. She can hear anything.
Yes, she can. Can she hear that I'm going to be taking all of these snacks with me? And I'm going to have a little snack before we get ready for LightTalk.
It's time to have some fun. On LightTalk with Sammy Mudd. We got skits and interviews. We got everything but the blues and sound. LightTalk is on. Light Talk with Sam Beeman.
Hey everybody, you're watching Light Talk, and we've got a great show lined up for you today. I know, I say it every time. No, seriously, we do. Now, one of the things I want to share with you, though, is something from my childhood. Okay, when I was a kid, whether you know it or not, I actually wanted to do magic. I'm not even kidding. Now, back in the 80s, I wanted this magic set that had like a little potion bottle, and it had a rope and a ball, and I don't even know exactly what the trick did. I think you stick the rope in there and maybe the ball gets caught and like it's just, I really don't even know because I never got to master the trick. I remember trying it in front of my family members and the rubber ball falls out, the rope, the bottle, and everybody laughed. And then I decided to get into comedy. Well, my guest today is a magician, Frankie Elliston. He's been featured on America's Got Talent for one of the tricks he did years ago, but he's still doing magic, and let me tell you, you're in for a treat. And then later on in the program, we're going to check in with my good friend Nazareth, all the way in California. So stick around. We'll be back in just a moment.
Shopping Cart Hunter here, and on this edition of Shopping Cart Hunter, I got a real doozy. It's starting to rain, so we gotta hurry. Check this out right here. Looks like it's the Michael's Red and Black edition. This is a real rare instance. Check this out. Look at this. We'll take a closer look. These poor carts, looks like they got trash all in them. So they're not just a shopping cart, mate. They've been turned into a trash cart, and that's a no-no. We'll have to take these carts back to their original home. Over at Michael's. We've got a little ways to go, but it's okay. We gotta save these carts. Do I want to save some carts? Yes, I do. We gotta get these carts home, mate. Whoa! I gotta get out of this rain, mate. We gotta put all this trash inside the trash can. Looks like we got some terrible weather coming. I wanna make sure these carts get back to their natural habitat. It looks like we got all of the trash out, except for this blanket here. I don't know what they wanna do with this, but it's time to return these carts back to its home. Well, here she is, mate. I got these carts on the other side of the parking lot.
Thank you, sir. It's a hassle to get these. I really appreciate it.
All right, well, it looks like that's all the time that we have on this edition of Shopping Cart Hunter. Check me out on my website, sambeeman.com, and thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome back to the program. So here with me is my first guest, all the way from Columbus, Georgia, who is also on America's Got Talent, Frankie Elliston. Frankie?
I'm happy to be back.
Yes, I know.
It's a little different. The digs have changed.
I feel like I should put up in the background, like, I know I've got a picture of my old garage. I feel like I should just put that in the background for the set.
Have a bike tire in here somewhere. Just even if it's in backstage, just to.
Did I have a bike tire? I know I probably had it like hanging from the rafter.
There was all sorts of stuff in there. But it was hard to focus because the sweat that got in your eyes from the heat kind of blurred your vision. So there were a few times where I thought I was
gonna pass
at a 5-star hotel.
Yeah, well, it was probably, I know I've said this several times, but it must have been like 120, 130 degrees in there on any given summer day.
That's perfect for me.
That's
I work well under pressure.
okay, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so no problem.
The conditions weren't ideal, but at the same time, they were perfect.
Well, you didn't get bit by a spider, so that's good.
No spider bites.
I can't tell you how many times I went in the garage and I had to clear it out. Like,
Well, even in a garage setting, it had like a feel to it, like it was supposed to be that way. It didn't feel dirty or anything. It felt like it was just a different style, and I liked it.
were you on the show when I had a pool table in there? It might have been, you might have came after I got rid of the pool table.
I don't recall.
Okay, because I had a pool table in this garage, and if you look at some of the earlier episodes of Light Talk, when I was filming in there, you can actually see the corner of the pool table in the shot. I was like, I'm so glad it didn't like shift focus, you know, like make everything blurry in the background.
I don't remember the pool table. I remember it being a fun time though.
Yeah, it was. It was. We had a good time. And of course, I know we met, we were talking about this earlier, we met during a talent competition that I put together called Zoo City's Got Talent. And and I was blown away with what you did at the time, because that was when you were doing a fork.
Well, it was a two-stage thing, like to audition.
Yeah, the audition was
You
a
had
fork.
to go, yeah, you had to go in front of the judges, who I presume at the time were the owners. But did the fork thing, and that's a trick that I learned early in magic. But I developed it into a style of my own. Like magicians that perform that trick will even say, "Man, the way that's put together is very strong."
Okay.
And so that's what I got. What I used to actually get their attention, and then they said, "Okay, well, you're in for the real thing."
Yeah, because then you had a bigger trick.
Yeah, my father and I built a replica of a Harry Houdini illusion. A lot of magic, especially big magic, the assistants do all the work, and the magician just gets to sit back and take credit for it.
Okay.
This is not one of those tricks.
All right.
This is one that, to get good at it, you develop a thick skin, and it really is a good trick just to get the raw feeling of what magic is. Whether you're watching it or you're performing it, you really get an idea of what magic is. It's taking the ordinary and making it extraordinary. Even something as ordinary as regular movements, lifting something up and bringing it down, that movement turns magical with that trick. And I loved it, so we built it. And I enjoyed performing it. I still perform it today. I've built a new box since then.
Okay.
But
Because it's been several years.
I'm back when you first interviewed me, I was right around 20 years old. Yep, I'm 30 now.
Oh, wow.
But even at 30, I can perform the trick faster today than I could before. And I've even taught my daughter how to do it. My daughter and I have performed the trick together, and we've done wonderfully with it. She luckily she gets her mother's look, so she's got the beautiful assistant part down.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. I've noticed that, over the years, and I've seen some of the big tricks that you've done, even at the Civic Center.
Right, yeah. That was a
With
huge
fire
undertaking.
and that was crazy.
I had a friend of mine who tasked me with entertaining a 360-degree crowd, which in magic is a very difficult thing to do, especially when you're talking about making people disappear and reappear.
Yes. Yeah, because you got people watching at all sides around that
all
arena.
angles. Not to mention, the Civic Center, that's a very raw place to perform.
And you were on ice.
On the ice.
It was a hockey game. It was,
Walking in, I had some awesome silver shoes,
yeah.
but they were slick on the bottom. Okay?
I remember you sliding.
Yeah, walking on that ice was almost harder than the trick itself.
Man, that's got to be stressful.
Well,
There's like thousands of people out there, and you're...
that's I wasn't
Doing this
joking
trick.
about the heat thing earlier and under pressure.
Yeah.
I thrive off of that.
Okay.
I have this ability that just kind of overtakes me. When all eyes are on me, I feel like it's time to show off.
Okay.
The effect of a large crowd is different on me than I've seen on a lot of people. I thrive off of it because I finally am able to get what I've always wanted, which is all eyes on me. I am the guy that wants to be the center of attention. So when you give me that stage, when you give me that opportunity, I'm not going to be nervous about it.
Well, like in America's Got Talent.
Guns blazing.
I mean, how many thousands of people were in that theater? I mean, they're packed in there.
It's probably a 6,000 seat theater, and then of course that when it airs, millions of people are watching it. But,
so there's even more pressure, or at least there would be.
So that was early on in my career.
Yeah.
We're talking 19 years old.
Okay.
I didn't have the same grasp on my nerves then as I do now, but even still back then, being the center of attention was on the to-do list.
And you're funny.
Well, looking. But, you know, the America's Got Talent thing was a completely different story because I was nervous. I knew there's a lot on the line then, okay? Because anytime you watch American Idol or America's Got Talent or some of these other talent shows, there's always that mixture of people who are bad. I mean, they're really bad. Because that gives the show another element, which is kind of a cruel element, but nonetheless, it's one that people enjoy. They like it. So the producers exploit that. So I've always been confident in myself as far as magic goes. But I could also be manipulated into thinking that I'm good. That's what I was thinking at the time. My parents aren't going to, you know, discourage me from what I want to do. So maybe I get up there and I make a fool of myself. This is on national TV. You don't run away from that. The internet was real then, as real as it is now. So, but the whole process of that show was so long. You know, you turn on the TV, you watch a 30-minute episode of America's Got Talent, and you don't have an idea, not even a clue
of what goes
on behind that. For the 5 minutes of performing I did that day that I auditioned, there was almost 20 hours of waiting over a 3-day period. Sitting down, patiently waiting.
That can play on your nerves alone.
You just want to get it over with.
Yeah. It's like, please, when am I going up?
That is a contributor to how calm, cool, collected I stayed. And, you know, it really let my dominant personality side show. Like, you know, I didn't really care. I was carefree persona. And I think that's because I was a little agitated. Waiting does that to a person. And you see all these other people just doing their thing. And it was an interesting experience. But the experience itself actually elevated the performance, which is neat.
Yeah, and then the fact that you almost made Nick hurl because of the trick.
Well, that's another thing too.
You have to look this trick up. That's like, look up Frankie Elliston, America's Got Talent. Is it still out there? Okay.
If you Google it, you'll find it. You know, that's the thing too. I'm methodical in nature and analytical by birth.
Okay.
I adapted that from my father. Very analytical, and I knew going into this that I had to take an approach that was one of an educated standpoint. I didn't just pick a trick that I liked. I didn't have to win anybody over but the 3 bodies in front of me. So I studied performance after performance after performance. And I figured out what really gets those judges going.
Okay.
And I came up with a simple formula. In order to get a victory, you got to do one of 3 things. You got to make people laugh, you got to make them cry, or you got to make them cringe. If you do one of those 3 things, you have a good shot of making it on. If you do 2 of those 3 things, you got a really good chance of making it on. And if you do 3 of 3, it doesn't matter how good you are, you're probably making it on. So I focused on making people laugh and cringe.
Okay.
Because I wasn't ready to make anybody cry yet. And it worked. It didn't win all 3 of them over, but it won 2 of them over. And I also won the audience by freaking out the host.
Yes.
So that was part of the whole approach too.
Yeah, because they went crazy. When you see the close-up shots of the crowd, they were going ballistic.
Yeah, it was all premeditated. But, you know, the way it worked out, it was an incredible experience.
You know that you've just given somebody out there an edge in the competition.
I hope so.
Like there's somebody out there right now that's like, I have a competition coming up. Oh my goodness, make them cry, make them cringe.
Laugh, cry, and cringe.
Make them laugh.
It is a formula for success when it comes to wooing a crowd. It is.
Yeah, I believe it. Yeah, even with anything that you put out there, you know, especially like a video, let's say YouTube, it has to be either like super awesome or extremely horrible. That's the only way somebody's going to share your video.
That's right.
Usually it's like, man, this is awful. You got to see it.
That's the cringe factor.
Yeah, exactly.
And, you know, the people love to laugh.
That's right, they do.
And I like to make them laugh.
Well, I believe we're going to take a break here. There's something did you want to do anything?
I wanted to see if I can make you cringe.
Okay, all right.
Honestly. So.
Oh, great. I am not looking forward to this at all. No.
You might even cry.
Great. Hopefully, is there any laughing?
And
in
if
this?
you cry, I'm going to laugh.
Oh, great.
So it's going to be great.
All three. Just in case I forget, if anybody wants to book you for any events, can they email you or?
Absolutely. I try and perform as often as possible.
Okay.
And I can adapt to any kind of venue, any kind of event. But I can be reached by email, which is CF Elliston, my last name. That's ELLISTON @gmail.com.
Okay, good. So I want to make sure that after they see you perform, or they go look up that clip from America's Got Talent, they're going to be like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, you could look me up on Facebook too, and I'll see it that way as well.
Okay, great. All right, we'll take a break and we'll be back in just a moment.
And I know that you want to be a little bit more humorous.
Yes.
I mean, your friends say you're humorous, anyways.
I always try and be funny. I want to
That's a good thing, people.
try and be funny because I can take a small trick and fill a time slot with it just by entertaining, telling jokes.
And that's great.
You know, and that's really what got me through that audition because, believe it or not, even though you couldn't see it in the video, I was booed. The audience
you
booed.
were booed?
Yeah, the audience did boo.
Wait, this was during the Orlandos?
Yeah, I was booed because
Yeah, I definitely didn't pick up on
Yeah.
that. I mean, you know, every shot they show was like,
it's it's a small trick for an audience of 2,000 people, and
and this
I
was the
wasn't
trick
being-
of you pulling the string through, which was quite.
And I was being booed, but I used my humor to pull people back.
Oh, nice.
Like my subtle jokes. If this goes wrong, I'll be back in 2 days.
Oh, yeah,
That started pulling people back.
You know, speaking of pulling people back, we're going to have to go ahead and take a commercial break so we can pull everybody back for the rest of the story in just a moment. We call this a commercial break, but really, it's just an excuse to test your patience. You're watching Light Talk with Sam Beeman.
We're back. I'm here with Frankie. Frankie, I see that you have some cups out here. You want to make me cringe. How does this work?
I'm going to hold true to what I said.
Okay, all
The
right.
goal is to make you cringe.
Okay, great.
And it has made people cry. Hopefully, it doesn't make me cry.
This feels like a haunted house, okay?
Oh, it's-
We're about to go into something here.
So, there are magic tricks out there that have a true element of danger.
Okay.
This being one of them. So the crying aspect really could fall on my shoulders.
Okay.
And if I happen to cry as a byproduct of this trick, then something's gone horribly wrong. Okay? So
It's good to know.
as I talked about before, taking ordinary and turning it extraordinary.
Okay.
So ordinary being the cups. The extraordinary part is what's underneath the cups. But there's only one thing that's a little extraordinary. Under each cup is just a little wooden peg. You can take a look at it.
Okay.
Normal peg. One's a little different than the rest, though. This
Yes.
one
Yes, it is.
has a solid steel spike. Feel the weight of
Oh,
that? That
yeah.
is a heavy spike, which is the cringe element
Yeah,
of
yeah, yeah,
this,
yeah,
okay?
definitely. Yes.
So 5 wooden spikes, and you can look at them. They are all different.
Okay. Yep, one.
Here's what we're going to do here, okay?
All right.
I'm going to try and truly read your expressions,
Okay.
But I don't want you to make it easy on me. I want you to make it difficult. So what I'm going to ask you to do is to number the cups, 1 through 5. You don't have to go sequentially as long as each cup has a different number, somewhere 1 through 5.
Okay.
Okay? So go ahead and write on
Anywhere
the cup-
specific? Top?
on the top,
side?
just so
Okay.
I can see,
All right.
because I'm going to ask you questions and I need that number as reference.
Okay.
Okay? So just number them. I'll turn, I'll look away,
Okay.
and you can do it out of order, however you want, as long as they do have different numbers.
Okay.
Got it?
Yeah, got it.
Okay, so they're numbered randomly. I didn't influence how you number the cups,
No.
correct? Okay, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now, I want you to take these cups and put them over the spikes. Any number over any spike, don't let me see. Then what I want you to do is mix the cups up. I'll turn around when you do it, though.
Okay.
So I'm not going to know exactly where it is. Fair
Okay.
enough?
All right, so I'm just putting the cups over each one of these,
Correct.
mixing them up.
That's right.
Perfect.
I'll turn around. You go ahead and do that.
Okay. All right. So much noise. I'm so sorry. Okay. I think they're good. Okay.
You feel good about it?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to ask you questions.
Okay, great.
But your job is to give me the same answer each time. Okay?
I got to give you the same answer each time.
I'm going to ask you
Okay.
if the cup is under, and then I'm going to say the number of the cup. You're going to say no. Each time you're going to say no.
I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no.
So my job is to
man.
focus on your facial expressions.
Okay.
You look at me.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Is the spike under cup number 4?
No.
Is the spike under cup number 3?
No.
Is the spike under cup number 2?
No.
Is the spike under cup number 5?
No.
Is the spike under cup number 1?
No.
You told me the truth. And the spike is not under cup number 4. That's so nerve-wracking. Because that one's a true guess. And you want to know what makes this really interesting?
Yeah.
Is when you turn around.
Yeah. Yeah, when I turn around?
Yeah, you turn around.
You
You turn around.
Yeah.
Don't look.
Okay.
I'm actually going to mix the cups up. This way, I'm going to know where this... well, you know what? I'm just going to mix the cups up like this. All right, you turn back around. So you don't know as far as... it's the spike's in a different position, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm giving you... I had you turn around to give you reasonable doubt that maybe when you turned around, I picked up the cups and I looked. That should make you a little more comfortable about what's about to happen.
Okay.
But the audience knows exactly what I did there. And looking under the cups is not one of them.
Okay.
So do me a favor, Sam.
Yeah.
Hold your hand out just like this. We're going to try and find the cup. As I move my hand, I want you to move your hand with me.
Okay.
Okay? Okay? All right. We'll do it one more time.
Okay. You're shaking.
Yeah.
That's reassuring.
Okay. All right, so it's... Okay, let's do it again. I'm going to ask the same question.
Yeah.
But this time you're going to tell me yes.
Okay.
Is the spike under cup number 3?
Yes.
Is the spike under cup number 1?
Yes.
Is the spike under cup number 5?
Yes.
You lied to me this time. The spike is not under cup number 3. Which gives us 2 cups left.
I think I'm about to start crying.
Is the spike under cup number 5?
Am I telling you the truth?
Yes. Tell me yes each time.
Yes.
Is the spike under cup number 1?
Yes.
Look at me for a second.
Yes.
Is the spike under cup number 5?
Yes.
Is the spike under cup number 1?
Yes.
Is the spike under cup number 5?
Yes.
Is the spike under cup number 1?
Yes.
Okay. Cup number.
Oh, bada. Yes. Oh. So, how did you feel on that?
That's the first time I've used someone else's hand, and I'm glad it was the wrong one.
Me too. Me too.
You're gonna laugh, cry, and cringe.
Yeah, I think you
There's
got all
a
of them.
little bit of it's
It was
developing.
Yeah. It was. I was definitely about to cry. I thought, you are about to hurt yourself, or I'm going to hurt myself. I don't know which one. I was feeling bad for you.
I've done it a lot of times. Haven't messed up yet, luckily. Which, by a lot of times, I mean I've done it 4 times, and there's 5 spikes. So, statistically speaking, the next time is going to end in tragedy.
All right. Frankie Elliston, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Frankie. We'll be back in just a moment.
And we're back. And I want to go ahead and head over to California with my good friend Nazareth. Nazareth, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me, Sam.
Hey.
It's been a while.
Yeah, oh yeah, it has been a while. It has been a while. I just want to say that I have been super impressed and encouraged with your nightly show that you've been doing.
Yeah, I've, ever since the pandemic in March, we started doing a live Facebook show called Live with Naz. And the whole idea was, all right, we're all sitting home, we're all quarantining. And in my case, I was more hibernating than quarantining. I've been just eating. But so instead of just keep eating, I said, I'm going to do something where I just, we're comedians, and comedians want to perform. They want to share their ideas, their great, new jokes and stuff. So I started a show at night, and I thought we'll go for a week. So I did the first night, and we did 2 hours. Second night did 2 hours. Third night we did an hour and a half, and then I ran out of material. I've been doing comedy for 30 years, but every night doing 2 hours, there's no way I can write. It was a lot of stress writing in the morning and performing. So I said, you know what? I started by mistake. I said, okay, I'm going to make sure the audience are the funny ones. So I started asking questions like, hey, what's the worst name for a plumbing business? Like yesterday's question was, if you were the fashion police, who would you give a ticket to? Stuff like that.
Yeah.
And people would start answering. People were feeling funny. So after a week, we said we're going to quit. And then I've been getting these emails from people say, you know what? I've been so anxious, so depressed, and I've been waiting. Like every day, I wait for that hour to just forget about my problems. So we kept going, and today going to be 103 shows. Yeah.
Well, I know that the times that I have jumped on, one of the things that has impressed me the most is, because of that 3-hour time difference, where I've jumped on later in the evening, and I'll see you, and like almost as soon as you see my name pop up, you're like, Sam. I can't even be discreet.
So you can leave, yeah, because you know what? I wanted more comedians to be in, like we have about 500 to 1,500 views a night. So I wanted to have several comedians to be in because it keeps the jokes running, So, like I would ask a question and you guys come up, and normal people mean non-comedians,
Yeah.
they come up with funny stuff, but I can count on the 5 or 6 comedians that are there. So that's why whenever there's a comedian, I'm like, hey, welcome, thank you for joining us, stick around.
Oh, it really does make, for us comedians that are watching, it makes us feel validated, like, wow, I just got noticed. That's awesome, by Naz. And so it always means a lot when, I hear Sam Beeman from Columbus, Georgia, like, wow, that's so awesome. So
that makes, so you don't leave, so you can stay. Now you can leave.
Stay. Oh yeah. And one of the things I've been impressed with too, not only just the comedy portion, because it flows, it flows throughout. You've got a good format to it. And then near the end of the program, that's where you're taking prayer requests.
Yes, we ask people for prayer requests because we want people to know they're not alone, especially with this pandemic. A lot of people feel lonely, and if they know there's someone else praying for them, then they feel there's a family, and that's the whole goal of the show. Like anyone who joined us, even for one time, you're family now. You're welcome to the show. And you know what? When I start the show, I have to wait 5 minutes for people to say, "Hey, how are you?" and welcoming one another. And the show runs itself. People are, the people who are waiting for the show, the minute they start welcoming strangers. We're starting talking to people. When it's time to prayer, they said, we are praying. We've been praying. How is your daughter doing? And all that. So it's becoming like a family thing. And then I end with a little devotion. So praise God. You know what? We're doing exactly what we're doing. I mean, I would rather be on stage, Sam. I would rather be in front of a live audience. I mean, nothing compares to that. But that's what we have. And
You know, one of the things that has it's really meant a lot to me in thinking about performing live was when we first met in 2007, and we it was at a CCA, CCA conference, and you found out that I was a new comic, and I did voices, and I just remember you told Anita, you said, make sure you get him on the list, to do 3 minutes. And I'm like, wait, hold on. I don't know if I'm ready for this. And you're like, oh, you're ready. Like, it was bad
yeah,
script.
Anita Refer. I
Get
wrote.
out there.
I love Anita. Yes. Yeah. But you're good. You're very good. So, that was the whole. When I was the president of the CCA Christian Comedy Association, that was my goal. Make sure if all the new people, the newcomers, because we didn't have anybody when I started. It moved from the Hollywood to the Christian realm. There weren't a lot of comedians in California, Christian comedians who. So I had to, open my own doors. So that was the goal from one of the goals CCS to get the new ones people to be to be able to help them and encourage them to do it. So
Yeah, and I mean, you're encouraging so many people, not just the comedians as well, but I mean, you do so much even within your own community. That's another thing. I mean, it's like layer upon layer. Like when I think about someone, a comedian who is looking to be a servant of Christ and reach out, like I think about what you're doing. You've got the big shows obviously up until the pandemic, but you've got these big shows, you're performing for thousands of people, but then God is using you to reach out to people within your own community. Obviously, that's something that you do. You're not like, hey, look at me. It's just, and I'm not even saying exactly what you do, but I'm just saying that I notice your servant's heart, for someone who is all over the world, and you're basically being the hands and feet of Jesus right where you're at in your own backyard.
well, thank you, brother. I mean, it's humbling. I'm indebted to two. Number one, to Jesus Christ, and number two, to this country. I mean, I've received so much from both, from Jesus and from the United States of America, that in the last 35 years. So I want to give back. If you don't give back, you're not really. I mean, you become stale. You become you get rusted. So you always giving back. So I want to give back to the Lord, not out of obligation, but out of gratitude. So I go all over the world. I want to share Jesus with people. I want people to hear the good news. And I don't know how much time we have, but I always share this analogy. I say, let's say Sam Beeman, and you've been through cancer, and you're an amazing man, and God just really, I mean, God will not allow you to be tried or tempted beyond your able, and he did, and you came through it beautifully, and praise God for your healing. But let's say I meet Sam, let's say I have cancer and it's gonna kill me, and then someone comes to me and said, Nazareth, here's some chamomile herbs that if you take them, you'll be completely healed. And I go and I get the chamomile and I take them and I'm completely healed. How dare I, the next time I meet someone who's having the same thing, is having the same cancer, and not offer them what I was offered for me for free? And that's what we have. When Jesus came, Kathy Gifford from the Good Morning America said it beautifully. She said, "We as Christians have the cure for the malignancy of the heart, not the body, the heart." And there's so many people around, especially after the coronavirus, they have a malignancy of the heart. They're afraid, they're scared, they're anxious, stuff. uh, and we've been receiving for free. We were received for free that salvation, that peace, that be anxious for nothing, not everything in prayer and supplication, make
Right.
request known unto God. So we received that. Why? How dare I not share it with others? How dare I not share it with someone who I know had the same malignancy I had, but God healed it for free? So that's one. Number two, this country has been blessing to me. I mean, I'm doing what I love to do. I made a lot of money from my comedy career as a Christian and as a mainstream. But you know what? God bless me. I'm living the American dream, and this is a time where I can encourage people. Hey, be thankful. You live in this nation. This is the greatest nation. I mean, I don't care what the protesters are saying. I'm not saying people I can't, I haven't been in people's shoes to relate what they've been through. I'm not insensitive. Yes, everybody has the right to share and make things right. But for me, I've been blessed. I've been blessed in this country, so I want to give back. So every week we feed 1,000 people, in refugees and others in the ministry that God allowed me to start, co-start 11 years ago. So we're doing back. You got to give back. If you
Yeah.
don't give back, you're going to be stale.
Absolutely.
You know that.
Yes, you do have to give back. That's why, I mean, and even what I do with at the cancer center, I try my best to stop by the cancer center to bring joy through one of my characters that I do around Christmas time, and so it means so much to just to see that smile on someone's face when they're faced with what feels like hopelessness, because I know exactly what that feels like. So yeah, you definitely have to give back, and so I appreciate everything that you're doing. And I just appreciate you as a friend, and I
And
know
how
we've been trying
beautiful
to-
God is using you. He's using you because you've been through it. You got healed. What an encouragement you can give to those people at the cancer centers and others. Hey, you've been there. You've
Absolutely, yes. And I know we've been trying to get you on the show for a little while, and it just so happens that the day we normally shoot is when you're feeding the refugees. So
Yeah.
it just worked out that because the days had swapped with filming, that we got to have you on the show, and I'm so grateful. So thank you for checking in with us. Is there anything that you'd like to say to everybody watching right now, like where to send them to your website or to your Facebook
Yeah.
page so that they can join in?
If they want to be encouraged, I mean, the best way is to go to my website,
Okay.
comediannazareth.com, comediannazareth.com. And when they go there, they can find out about the show, the nightly show. We'd love for you guys to join us and laugh. I know it's late for some of you, but it's worth it. So it's comedian, on Facebook under Comedian Nazareth. One, or on my website, go to Comedian Nazareth. You can get to that. You can also get to the, what do we call, the podcast. Today I had Josh McDowell, the big apologist, for an hour, and he shared so much great information for pastors and leaders and everybody.
Such a nice.
It's just amazing.
It really is.
So yeah, just go to my website and or like me on social media under Comedian Nazareth, and I'll appreciate it.
Okay, that sounds good. All right, well, thank you, Nazareth, for checking in with us on Light Talk. It's always a pleasure. And I'm going to go ahead and we're going to cut to a commercial. Yeah, let's cut to a break. Yeah, we'll be
Cut me
back
off. I don't care.
in just a
Thank
moment.
you.
Fathers how to use humor to communicate. And
Speaking of which.
in fact, that's just ringing right
Wow.
now. Have you ever had people answer their phone on the?
No, I'd like to see
in
what's
fact,
going to
I'm
take
like,
place.
That's lovely, my lovely wife.
Well, there you go.
Okay, this is live. It's okay.
Yeah,
This
right
is
here, live. Yeah.
Hi, honey. Hi. Yes, honey. Oh no. Okay, honey, I'm doing a TV interview right now live. No, it's okay. No, don't be sorry. I love you. You're more important than the TV show. They probably won't call people. Okay, so what are you gonna do? You gonna call some? Okay. Oh, okay. Well, let me call you back then. Okay, love you. Okay, you know what? I think my wife kicked me out of the house, so my website is gonna change right now to needhome.com. No, you know what? One of the things I do in my life, because I travel a lot, is when my wife calls, I have to take the call.
Absolutely.
I mean, just for safety for her to know that she can reach me anytime she wants, and that's I encourage fathers to do that and husbands.
We've had so much fun on the show today. I know I've had a lot of fun. My heart has been beating nonstop since that trick. Thank you, Frankie. No, seriously, I was actually terrified we were joking about how I started to cry. That was real because I really thought that my friend or one of us was about to get hurt. Well, as I was talking about earlier in the program, when I was younger, I wanted to get into magic. I was fascinated by magic tricks, and when I grew up, we didn't have Harry Potter. I had David Copperfield, but I also had the Care Bear movie. For those of you who are over 40, you know what I'm talking about. There was a movie that came out in the 80s where these lovable bears had met up with this kid who was a light-hearted kid. He had so much imagination and wonder, and he was kind-hearted, and he wanted to be a magician. Now, I don't remember exactly how the storyline went, except that he found this book, this magic book that had like a head in the middle of it. It was actually quite terrifying for an 8-year-old, okay? Or 10, however old I was. It was terrifying. So this book actually seduces the child into going to a dark place. It pulled him far away from his dear friends, the Care Bears. He couldn't be lovable and kind and lighthearted anymore. He was filled with his darkness. And that's not to say that magic is dark by any means, because there are a lot of great illusionists and illusions that are well-skilled tricks that wow you. But in this movie, this book basically took someone who was so kind and pulled him away and took him down a dark path. Now, there may be somebody like that maybe in your life, or maybe you yourself have been pulled in a different direction. Maybe at one time you were on the straight and narrow, and maybe everything was lighthearted. Maybe you had a wonder about life, and everything was rainbows and puppy dogs and lollipops and all of that. And now it's just become darker. Maybe the heart has shifted. Maybe. And if so, I would just encourage you to just take a look at some of the things that are in your life. Maybe it's the things that you put inside of your heart, through your eye gate, through your ear gate. Maybe it's the friends, the people that you've surrounded yourself with. Maybe they've pulled you in a different direction. I say this from time to time, that those that I know that are Christian, and maybe they've fallen off the path, they could take a look at just where their heart shifted and they come back to God. But for those of you who are watching that say, you know what, I'm not into that Christian scene. I'm not a Christian. I don't believe in all of that. Maybe you could just take a look at your own life and just see where it's going and just ask for that help. As a Christian, we ask from God, or we ask from a trusted source. Maybe there's somebody in your life. Maybe it's a grandmother, a grandfather, a really good friend who's always been there for you. Maybe you could reach out to them and say, hey, could you help me? I want to pull away from the dark path, and I want to get back to the light. Maybe some of your friends need to throw that Care Bear stare on you. I don't know. Anyways, those of you who know about Care Bears got that reference. I'm Sam Beeman. Thank you so much for watching. Take care, and God bless.
It's time to have some fun. Light Talk with Sam Beeman. We got skits and interviews. We got everything but the blues. It's on. Light Talk is on. Light Talk with Sam Beeman.